Hello, PWL Universe. This is Across the League, and today I am joined with the GM of the Rhinos, Mr. Kyle Novikowski, the GM of the Lemurs, Tom Anderson, the GM of the Warriors, Eric Lear, and the new GM of the Gators, Mr. Bobby Zacharias Kelly. We're going to start off by kind of going pick for pick from the draft and what we thought of each pick. Number one, Brendan Fitzgerald. That was kind of a no-brainer for me. I played with him multiple times, and he has pretty much everything I'm looking for in a player.
I feel like everyone saw that draft pick coming. I mean,
it's kind of broadcasted since day one.
Really wasn't big news. We thought it was a guarantee since the get-go. So,
and then the shock pick of the entire freaking draft, I think. Well, yeah, pretty much. It's the biggest one. Bobby picked Weldon at number 2. What were your thoughts with that?
I saw that I could actually move up in the draft after my awful trade with the Lemurs from the beginning. I could recover from that and get some first-round picks and get some players that I actually wanted.
Why did you make that trade with Tom in the first place?
I did not see anyone that I wanted in the first round. I didn't really have a plan from there, but then I had a plan and I acted on it.
Pretty good answer. And then when the draft officially started, Morrissey went number 1, which was to pretty much be expected. And him, Dylan, and frickin' Hamlin, that's a solid core 3, so that'll definitely be a good team.
can Dylan carry the team though as the ace role again this season with no solid number 2 pitcher?
Sure.
Although they did that last year, and Hamlin came up fine when he needed to be.
That's the whole thing. They just need defense. Hamlin can pitch.
That was just the only downfall in the playoffs. No number 2 pitcher.
Number 2, River Cats. I picked John Anderson. Always wanted to play with him, and he's going to add a solid bat, and he can actually pitch when I need him to. So solid core 3 right there for me.
You've actually never been on the same team with John?
Nope.
First time.
Yeah, first time. Number 3, the Rhinos. Nate Powers. Who else did you see at 3, or is that definitely?
Well, I was looking at John because we played last year. We had good chemistry, me, him, and Keish, and we made a playoff push, but we were defeated by the Lemurs. So I was looking to bring him back, but Eric stole him from me. So
that was an excellent series.
We're bringing in Nate. I feel me, Keish, and Nate can play well together.
Who's going to be your number 2? Is it going to be Nate or is it going to be Keish?
Definitely Nate.
Nate.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And then with the 4th pick, it was supposed to be the Lemurs, but the Lemurs and the friggin' Gators had that bombshell trade. Can either one of you explain to me how the hell that went down and how that happened?
It just kind of happened.
We both saw an opportunity for us to better our teams, and
Yeah.
we both agreed on a deal, and we capitalized on the opportunity.
Yeah.
And Weldon, since day one, has always wanted to be a Lemur, since way back 2011, 2012 season. And just finally, we're going to make that dream happen, and we're going to win a championship.
Oh, you're going to win a championship?
I think it's very likely.
You sure about that, Red Hulk?
Oh, yeah, I want to apologize to everyone for the Ustream. I'm really not that red. It's just the lighting doesn't like me.
It's not as bad on this camera.
Now, with that pick...
Hold on, but I'm not sorry for the fat.
Now, with that pick, the Gators picked Pat Lovely, which pissed fellow GM Eric Lear off.
Not particularly.
No? Are you sure
I mean,
about that?
oh, shut the fuck up. I was looking to redraft Pat. He would be a solid pick, but I was kind of hoping he'd fall later. But I'm not too broken up about it. I mean, I'm not worried about the team he's going to. He'll be a good fit for the Gators. I just kind of shut the fuck up. I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Is he going to be your number 2? Who's going to be your number 2 pitcher?
Number 2 pitcher, I'll figure that out later on.
All right.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't too broken up about it. I would have liked to get him. Like if he dropped to 8, that would be a nice pick. But shit happens.
And with the 5th pick, the Warriors picked Tom Gannon, who was, what was it? Is that the first season? Second season of the league where Tom Gannon was actually, was he with Hamlin?
No, he was a manatee.
He was a manatee,
Yeah,
that's what it
He
was.
was a top 5 pitcher in the league.
He was a solid pitcher, and then he screwed around, so I'm hoping that doesn't happen this year.
No, I am.
But I have a feeling he's good friends with Eric Lear, which is why he was picked at 5, and I think Lear will bring him down to earth and just have genuine fun.
Yeah, he is a tremendous athlete, and I know that he's not going to goof off if he's playing with me, because I know he was telling me stories about when he played with Fahey, like his only teammate I think was Fahey. He played a game with Fahey, and he just did not take it seriously at all. I mean,
yeah, it was a very poor showing, and that's why we shunned him from the league. But
no,
PWL is all about second chances, isn't it?
Nah, I'm not worried about it. He's going to be a big part of what I'm hoping to do with Jack. So,
It's definitely a solid core 3 for the Warriors. And then with the 6th pick, it's freaking Gators again because they had like 5 million picks this draft, but they ended up going Joey Poss. What were your thoughts on that pick?
I feel like he could be a great leader for my team. Could lead us. He's an okay pitcher, okay batter. Could lead us. Yeah.
Is he going to be the ace of the team?
He could possibly be the ace of the team. He could.
He didn't look too bad today.
Yeah, he did not at all.
Now with the 7th pick was Dan Anderson.
Selected by the Gators. The Gators had 4, 6, and 7th after they traded Weldon.
And what were your thoughts on that one, Bobby?
Dan and I, we played on the Lemurs together last season. Won a championship together. Thought I could bring him back, keep that chemistry going.
Pretty good.
Lou looks amused.
he does.
I don't know how the vice president of the league feels about that, but I'm sure time will tell.
Yeah.
Now with the 8th pick was probably the second biggest shock of the draft because I didn't feel like this person would be going that early. But Connor Scully went 8th of the Warriors. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I really need someone like Scully on my team. I've never had like a go-to ace, and I know that his commitment has always been an issue, but I feel like if I can get him there, and I can have a solid core of me, Gannon, Jack, and Scully, then there's pretty much no downside to that 4-man squad.
Yeah, just gonna get playoff eligibility.
That's
from
the
Scully.
that's the
That's
only
number
thing.
one And what is it? 7 or 9 games for playoff eligibility?
7.
Since it's 20 to 7. Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully I can get him there for 7 games and we can make some
I
noise.
think he will.
So
It'll be tough, but I think Scully will get to the 7.
yeah, that's a big part of my plan. I just need to get him there. Even if he underperforms, as long as we get to the playoffs and he's eligible, that's
You'll
all
be
I'm
good to
hoping
go.
for, yeah.
Yep. Some River Cat magic. Alrighty, but with the 9th pick, 3 guesses who it was, but it was Bobby again.
Yeah.
Adam Cook.
Adam Cook.
What were your thoughts on that?
He's a decent pitcher, decent batter. He's said he's gonna be committed this year, so I thought, why not?
I feel like that's a pretty solid pick for the
it's
Gators.
Yeah.
Perfect placement for a pick.
He also plays soccer though, right?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna miss a couple games now and then.
As with half the league.
Yeah.
Which is huge. I never thought soccer was a summer sport.
Yes, it is.
I feel like people die from heat stroke when they play
Yeah.
soccer in the summer, but
People die from
No
heat
Ryan
strokes
Fahey
playing.
reference here.
poor fajita.
No, poor Fahey. He's going to win back-to-back. It'll be alright.
no.
The commissioner is one cocky bastard
is.
right now. Coming from the kid who looked like he was dead pitching today, he ran out a ground ball and then couldn't really run the rest of the day. So I don't know how well that's going to come when the regular season rolls around. Number 10, the Rhino, Zach Randall. I feel like that's a pretty good pick, but his commitment.
Yeah, I mean, he has work. He does soccer too, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know. I was surprised. I found out last year that he was eligible for playoffs, even though I didn't see him that much, which is huge. And I called him on the phone. I'm like, Zach, are you going to be able to make it? And he was like, yeah, you have my Zach Randall like commitment card and everything. And he said he will make it to at least 10 games.
Is that
So-
an official card?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
How
Laminated.
come the Lemurs didn't have that card?
Because homework is more important.
Hey, he's got to have good marks.
Alrighty. Now with the River Cats, the 11th pick, I picked Mike Titties Benoit, which was, I was hoping to get Morrissey, but it didn't all fold that way. But I still got 75% of my Angels team where we won back-to-back championships, so I'm hoping that magic can come back around again. And with Benoit, he's a solid hitter, and he can throw if we even need him to, so that's how I felt about that pick. Now with the 12th, it was the Cubs, and Nate Ramos. I can't believe he friggin' fell all the way to 12.
That was literally another huge shock in the draft. I mean, he showed up to 14 games last year. I don't think anyone realized that, but he was there majority of the games for the River Cats, and he was the runner-up for Rookie of the Year. I mean, this kid's a stellar player.
He just didn't come when it mattered during the playoffs, when it was just me and Joey, so you can come there for the regular season, but it doesn't mean shit if you don't make it to the playoffs.
Whole new season once playoffs starts, so.
Alrighty, Steve Froy went as the first pick of the 3rd round with the Warriors. Froy's a pretty solid player.
Yeah.
I think he'll add to the Warrior dynamic.
He's definitely come around since the last time I saw him play, which was 2013. I think. I don't even remember. He showed up like twice last year for you,
Yeah.
right?
I think it was actually more. Plus he had a couple of dingers too. He was
Yeah.
at like 5 home runs.
I remember in the second game we played, I think. Was it the second game?
I think it was, yeah.
Because I remember he had a couple of nice plays in the field. I don't know if he pitched, and he had a couple of nice shots. But he has kind of upped his game level since the last time I really watched him play. So I'm hoping he can do some good things for us, and I kind of have, not really a personal relationship, but I've known him for a decent amount of time, so I feel like we can
Connect pretty good.
Yeah.
And from the commissioner's mouth, I guess Steve Freud is actually pumped to be able to play wiffle
Good.
ball this year. So.
That's what I like to hear.
Alrighty, with the second pick in the third round, 14th overall, the River Cats selected Ben Kelly, which was kind of a surprise pick for me. I didn't really know who else to pick at that spot, but I kind of took a chance at Bobby's little brother.
Yeah, hot sauce.
Yeah, Ben Hot Sauce Kelly.
Man, hot sauce Kelly.
But I'm gonna see if he can actually add to the River Cats. And according to Bobby, he's pretty decent.
He's decent.
So
Decent
we'll see what happens there.
I mean, everyone saw the progression that Zach had last year from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, and maybe his brother can do the same thing. I mean, if it's in the genes, why not go for the chance?
And then soon enough, Michaela Kelly will cross the barrier as the first female to play in the PWL.
Make the league co-ed.
Yeah.
Alrighty, with
The future is
15th
bright.
pick, it was the Rhinos, who was reunited with their longtime player, Dean
Dean
LeMay.
Lemansky.
What were your thoughts on that one?
Well, I knew he was a solid player. Like, given what the situation in the draft, he has a lot of talent, but he just has commitment issues due to work and soccer and everything else that he does. I mean, when he was there, he was good. He made great catches in the field. He had a few timely hits last year, so I'm hoping he can bring that back.
I think it's a solid thing. You, Keyshawn, and Dean seem to work well together.
Yeah, we do.
I think the Rhinos would be pretty decent. Now at the 16th pick, it was the Lemurs from the trade that they made with the Gators.
This is our first official pick in the
The
draft.
entire draft.
And we took Jeremy Robidoux. He took last season off. He showed up for opening day, and then it was gone.
Sorry,
Due
Warriors.
to an injury, due to home issues, car issues.
They
But
sort of screwed him.
this year, he's got a whole new attitude. He seems pretty excited to play, and teaming up with Ryan Fahey, his longtime friend, he could be a force.
Yeah, there's a lot of force behind those two bats. But the whole big thing is if Robert was going to come through in the clutch or not. But Riley Millay went to the Cubs with the 17th overall pick. I don't really know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
I was
we have
surprised by
anything to
that
say.
pick.
Dylan DeAngelo and Ryan Lake go to the same gym together. I know that, so
They get yoked
they got
together.
some chemistry there. But I just don't know how Riley Millay would perform on a football field.
And we've never seen him before. That's
Yeah, I know that you brought him in last year hoping that he was going to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
through.
yeah.
He never did.
never did.
So I'm curious to see if that pick will actually come through or not. Now, the last pick in the third round was John Champagne.
See, that's a good pick.
He was at, yeah, that's actually solid
That's-
value in the third round, I
Yeah,
think.
that's pretty great on my part, I believe. He made his debut today. He pitched a scoreless inning, almost hit a couple of dingers, making solid contact. He has an unorthodox pitching style, unorthodox swing, but it's effective, so you can't really ask for much more in the last pick in the third round.
He had a few good hits today too,
Yeah,
but it was just right at someone.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I really didn't expect that one.
And he's actually very excited to play, so we like that kind of energy and attitude on the Lemurs organization.
And he is the third rookie that was drafted in this year's draft.
Him, Ben Kelly, and
Cannon, maybe?
No, sorry, fourth, yeah. Ryan Nurse. Yeah, forgot about that. But with the first pick in the fourth round, they picked
Joe Fish.
Joey Coughlin,
Joey
Joe Fish. That's a solid pick for the Lemurs. There's a lot of commitment
Very
there.
committed.
And if the Lemurs are doing well, I highly expect to see Joey Coughlin's ass multiple times.
That's going to be our new home run celebrations.
No, it
we're
is
trying to steal our little money dance at home plate.
You will
But,
disrespect
As if
the
I
re-
thought the Lemurs couldn't get any gayer.
You will disrespect the
this is
memory
not a
of the-
family show anymore.
Nope, never was.
The Raptors will turn over in that grave if you do anything of the sort.
But he's a solid player. I mean, commitment's huge right there, and Coffin will be a great Lemur.
Alrighty. With the 20th pick in the draft, Ryan Nurse. I didn't really know. He got picked by the Cubs. I don't really know what he brings to the table. Do you know?
He brings
What that-
diversity.
He brings diversity with him.
Diversity, number one. Number two, he wanted to get paid to play.
What?
So if he wants to get paid to play, then he has to be somewhat decent. But I doubt it.
or just really cocky.
Really cocky, yep.
Yeah, I fully want to see what he brings to the table.
I really don't know if we'll ever see what he brings, to be honest.
I mean, he's like 5'11" and a half, almost 6 feet. He's tall.
Very strong.
I mean, he can catch a lot of fly balls out there. Maybe be a good fielder.
Can reach him.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he'll add to the whole Cubs mentality.
True,
at all.
yeah.
Does not fit in with the attitude
Yeah.
there.
I feel like he'll get cut.
Well, him and Dylan D'Angelo probably have some bond there because he and his sister hang out. I guess.
Steve Cisco went to the Gators at
Yeah.
21st pick in the draft. What were your thoughts on him, Bobby?
Oh, he's committed, coming back from college. Thought he could bring some power to the team. Power to the bat.
Yeah,
He's actually a really solid pick that late in the draft. I mean,
Yeah,
a kid that
that's
showed
right.
up almost every single week last year. That's huge for the Gators.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he fell all the way to the 4th round.
I was too.
He has a pretty good bat. He can pitch, maybe,
Maybe.
but he is probably by far the slowest kid in the entire league.
If we run a league-wide 40, he would be last.
He doesn't need to
We
be
should
that
look into
fast.
that.
If
That'd
he's
be
40
cool.
times,
That'd be
yeah.
I
sweet.
feel bad for the Warriors having to deal with that last season.
No,
But if he can hit boppers, then you're not going to worry about
when
him.
he was hitting the dingers, it didn't matter how fast he was running.
Yeah.
It was just like on some ground balls, second run into second or third. It's just like, come on.
So
He has-
pinch runners as well.
Make sure he
Yeah.
takes his keys out of his pocket.
Oh my god, I hated that.
He said his keychain rumbling around in his pocket. He's on a lanyard.
Alright, I'll keep that in mind.
Alrighty, so the Rhinos finished up their picks with Dave Nelson. I don't
Yeah.
really know much
Yeah,
about
I
him
don't
either.
know. I'm just basing that off his brother. Hopefully, he can be as good as his brother, if not better. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but hopefully he has a solid bat. I mean, I talked to him, and he said he could make it to Sundays. So
Talked to him late just now.
I mean, with a pick that late in the draft, I mean,
Yeah, it's a
risk,
question
the
mark,
risk
yeah.
was worth it, though. You got nothing to lose there.
yeah.
Definitely. Now with the 23rd pick, I apologize, Nick Bonzi, but I picked you and then I proceeded to cut you like 10 minutes after the draft.
But he found a new home almost immediately after. Nick Bonzi was picked up by the Wallace Terrace Warriors. And,
I did not know that.
and then,
As soon as I read the thing, I'm like, oh, like you dropped Bonzi, and it was like, yeah. So I picked him up. I dropped Dominic.
yeah, and
It's
the
actually-
last pick, the Warriors selected Chris Dominic and then proceeded to cut him. But then they added Bonzi, so it cancels out.
Sorry,
Now,
Chris Dominic.
now Dominic has no home either, so
Yeah.
it's an extra free agent.
Well, Chris Dominic, does he have a Facebook?
Yes.
Yeah, I tagged him on the thing.
Yeah, if you have, you do have a Facebook, message something on the board or something, letting the GMs know you're going to play. Because if not, then you're shit out of luck and you're just going to not play wiffle ball, so sorry.
If you want to play, put something up, and if you really want to, GM will probably pick you up if they need you.
He had a few good hits last year. I mean, he wasn't bad in the 2 games that he showed up.
And if he takes it serious, he
Yeah.
could be useful.
Yeah.
But the whole big thing is if he takes it serious.
Right.
Alrighty. So we're going to switch gears, and I guess Eric Lear has some draft
Oh,
grades.
Jesus, I just wrote numbers. I wrote letters on next to our rosters. It doesn't mean like I have
He has,
a breakdown of everything.
he has
but-
solid draft grades, but we'll let him start and go over that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start with the Lemurs because this roster just looks so weird to me. The core of Tom and Fahey, and with the trade he did with the Gators, he now has Weldon. Now, call me retarded, but I cannot see Weldon playing on the Lemurs. It's just I don't make that connection. It's just so strange to me.
I can see a clash of egos between Adam and Fahey.
That goes without saying. But he also drafted Rabideau, who has close ties with Fahey. So that could potentially be good because Fahey's actually the one who got Rabideau in the league. So if he could get him to show up, because he's a car now. So if he shows up, it could be a good upside. John Champagne and Joe Fish. Joe Fish is extremely committed. That's really all I can say about him. He's got such a strange swing at bat, but he loves to
The
play. and
hairiest ass I've ever seen.
but he loves to play and he'll show up. And John, he made his debut today and he wasn't bad. So if he can show up for the Lemurs, this could be a two-headed dragon. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But
I feel like the Lemurs did all right in the draft.
yeah.
I mean, that huge blockbuster they made with the Gators was, nobody really saw that coming, so I think that'll help out both teams pretty immensely.
Yeah. So
But the whole big thing with them, I really think it's a two-person team because Fahey is wishy-washy sometimes, especially if it's like raining and there's thunder. I mean,
Yeah.
and then he might have heat stroke, which is never good. But then Robidou didn't even. He showed up opening day and never came back. I don't see that really working out. John Champagne looked pretty damn good today. He was solid value in the third round. And Joe Fish is Joe Fish. I mean, he's committed, and if he takes it serious, he might get a hit here and there, but it's not really much to expect.
Since Joe Fish is going to take over the role that Dan Anderson had on the Lemurs last year,
The morale
and,
booster.
hopefully we have the same. Hopefully he has the same effect, and we'll have the same success as we had in 2014.
And I gave the Lemurs an A- for their draft rating. Only keeping them behind the Cubs because their pitching depth has not really increased any. Because Weldon has declared that he does not feel confident pitching at all, and as we discussed before, Fahey is very fair-weathered when it comes to how he pitches in certain situations.
Definitely.
Unless Rabidou or Champagne can come up with some pretty ballsy games on the bump, I don't see
Cannot wait for this.
the Lemurs getting very far with their number 2 pitcher, say. Fahey is as good as they're going to get for number 2, but that could definitely change as the season goes on. Okay, moving on. The Cubs.
They're stacked.
They only added to what they did last year. They replaced Mike Benoit with Eric Morrissey, the last year's Rookie of the Year, and Nate Ramos, 2 of the most dominant bats of last year, and that's pretty scary. Along with Dylan and himself, that's just insane at the plate right there. Other than the pitching, I have nothing but good things to say about this team. He also drafted Riley Millay and Ryan Nurse, which we know very little about, so it's hard to speculate on how they'll be. But other than that, this team is pretty stacked, and there's really no concern about where the Cubs will be in the standings come the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah, even if Nurse and Millay don't show up for them, they still have a core 4, which is all you can ask for. I mean, Dylan is a definite ace, so the big question for them is the number 2, but Nate Ramos filled in pretty well last year for the River Cats, so I think he'll do the same for them. And yeah, they'll probably be top 2 seed coming into the season, or
Yeah,
finishing the season, I should say.
It leads up perfectly to opening day. First game of the season is Lemurs at Cubs, so that should be a huge game.
Are you going to be throwing?
Time will tell.
Alright, he's hiding his secrets.
That's a no. Alright. Moving on to the Rhinos. Kyle and Keish have added All-Star Nate Powers and Zach Randall to their roster. That's kind of a power move because Nate is pretty versatile. He's a very above-average hitter and a pretty good pitcher. And plus Zach Randall, who a lot of people, he flew under the radar last year as a committed player. He showed up to 14 games or something like that. Am I wrong?
No, 14. Yeah,
14,
right
yeah.
around, yeah.
So that was definitely a kind of a steal for Kyle. And then he reconnected with Dean Lemansky and snagged himself Dave Nelson in late. So this squad has potential. It has moxie. It has spunk.
No, I definitely agree with that. And they'll be middle of the road, just like. I mean, the top 2 teams, in my opinion, are the Lemurs and the Cubs.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah, and then the other teams are just muddled down below. But how do you feel about your team overall?
I feel pretty confident going into the season. We have a solid core group, and then we have just people who will show up here and there. But I expect the core group to show up to nearly every game, which will be huge. Because last year it was just oftentimes me and Keish or Keish and John or something like that. I mean, it's a trek for John to come all the way out here, 45 minutes.
And just have a 2-person team. That is tough.
Yeah.
But you guys still found a way to win
yeah,
multiple
we did.
times.
Yes.
So. It was freaking nuts.
It was.
And and the final grade for the Rhinos was a B, that Lear gave them. And moving on to the River Cats next.
Oh shit! I forgot I was talking. I thought you guys were still going back and forth, but the River Cats, they have added a lot of depth to the roster that they much needed. He took Fitz as his supplemental before the draft, and then as his first pick, number 2, he took John Anderson. And just those 3 right there, those are 3 pretty damn good bats, and they seem very committed. John said he'd be committed, right?
Yeah, John's going to be wicked committed. we got the old timers on the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also got Benoit in there, and I got hot sauce.
Hot sauce.
I'll be. I want to see what that kid can do on the whip field.
He's already making a buzz around the league, and we've only seen him play once.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It should be a very, very diverse team. This should have some fun games to watch.
Honestly, I think the best rivalry is going to be River Cats and Lemurs. I think they're
Yeah,
evenly matched, and I think they're going to battle out for the number 2 seed because I don't see anyone beating the Cubs.
No,
Yeah.
I think I can agree with you there. Especially Tom. Tom has to come back healthy when the regular season starts, and he wasn't looking like his usual self today. But he still has a month to get back into shape. But I'm loving my team. It's gonna be awesome. And there's nothing more to say. I just can't wait to play wiffle ball this season.
You got an A- on that on your total draft.
It's
which is
solid.
This is a B minus.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
A B minus minus.
Yes. It's
B
not
equals
quite a
that?
C.
Next is the
Not
Gators, who
Not
Leo
quite
gave
C.
a B minus minus, and you
B
can
minus minus.
create your own definition for what that means.
It's
Yeah.
slightly above a C plus. It's not really
How slightly?
very, very like the slightest.
No one's confident in the Gators. I feel really confident with my team. I think we'll make some magic happen this season.
As long as you're confident with your team, that's all I
Yeah.
can say. 'Cause that was me last year.
Yeah, I feel great right now.
Mind you, you have my fucking team
I
last year.
literally have half of your team, so it's all good.
So, I mean, good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm pulling for the Gators.
Yeah, let's
I
do
think we
it.
all are, honestly.
Yeah.
The Gators are underdogs. I mean, they got there's some naysayers to the Gators, but I feel like they got a lot of supporters. Too.
Yeah, they are underdogs, but I have a feeling they will be competitive.
Yeah,
I feel
between
like we'll be
And Bobby has a goal. His first goal is to win one game.
Win one game, and then we'll shoot for the championship.
You know, and he
That's-
also does not want to
that's a good
go as the worst GM in PWL history.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty hard to beat.
It's all Fahey right there.
Yeah, I think Ryan Fahey's going to stay there. I think.
Trading the first overall pick for Keyshawn, a free agent.
He made so many bad moves. I'm very happy he's on that GM, and I'm very happy he's on my team now.
Thank God. Yeah, you liking your team now? That's
I
good.
love my team.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference in the world.
They have two of the former Raptors, so there's nothing bad to say about that.
Yeah.
Raptors
Yeah.
never die.
They're definitely going to have good bats this season.
Yeah,
One that
there's
kills.
not one bad bat on that lineup.
Yeah, the huge question is just the pitching.
Pitching, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Well-
can't pitch in this league, then
I'll figure it out. I got some
I
tricks.
have
up my
absolute
sleeves.
faith in Bobby Zacharias. So
Last but not least, the Wall Stars Warriors, who Leo gave himself a B minus. With the core of himself and Jack Ledger, he added longtime friend Tom Gannon and toss-up Connor Scully, who, whenever Connor Scully shows up, that's almost at least one guaranteed win.
Yeah.
And the kid is an absolute tank, and if he was committed, he would go first
he would be
overall
disgusting.
every
Like,
single
he would
draft.
probably be the
He would
best
probably
player
be
in
my
the
keeper
entire
pick.
league.
He legit, he's the kid's incredible, and whenever he shows up, he's gonna do wonderful things for the Warriors, and they can just get him playoff eligible. This team is
It
solid.
could be scary, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And they also added Steve Royal, who shows a lot of spark in him and a lot of potential. I mean,
There's a lot of things to prove. There's
Yeah.
no really, there's no red carpet fucking players walking down because there's no one has proved himself yet. We all have to step up and show everyone what we can do.
Yeah, I feel like could have a Cinderella story in the making with the Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Especially with Jack Ledger. Jack Ledger is with his unorthodox hitting and everything. And it works. I mean, I don't even know.
I feel like he's the face of the Warriors.
Yeah, I feel he is too.
No offense, Eric.
It's
but
it's
I
okay.
just,
like-
you know, like
I
saying-
would rather
doesn't
someone
matter.
else be the face than the GM. That means I have another. That means that I don't have to just pull the team by myself. I have another person I can rely on.
Yeah.
Definitely. And Jack Ledger was freaking awesome last year. Like,
Yeah, he was.
he totally fooled me because I thought.
He was a goofball.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
he was a goofball.
The jack of all trades.
He's a goofball,
Definitely.
but he
He takes
When-
it serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
when he needs to, he shows up and he shuts his mouth and he gets it done. So there's nothing I can say about that. Tom, I have a lot of faith in him because, like everyone said, he was kind of not the first time he played. No one really liked him. For whatever reason, he got kicked out. But I'm not really about to deal with any shenanigans, and I don't feel like he would pull any on me. So I only have the good things to say about him, and he's a big part of what I'm trying to do with this team.
That's what I like to hear.
last but not least, he added Nick Bonzi after the draft as a free agent after that he was cut by the River Cats, and that's his added depth. And he was a Warrior last year, so maybe there's some chemistry,
Yeah.
although he didn't show up much. But maybe second time's a charm.
I'm not worried about his commitment because he when he showed up, he came to play. It's just soccer had gotten in the way with most of the games. But when he shows up, I'll
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but we're just gonna finish. You have any final thoughts, Bobby?
I don't. I'm just really confident. I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, I don't think there's one person that isn't excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, this season's going to be extremely fun. I mean, looking at all these teams, I mean, this is probably the most
Yeah, this is
competitive
so
league
strange.
it's ever
Oh, yeah.
been. It's going to be very interesting to see how the players in different uniforms, and it's going to be one hell of a ride and see how things shake out.
Speaking of uniforms, now that the draft is officially over, please get your money in ASAP so we can order the shirts and hopefully have them by opening day. I mean, it'll be kind of close right now, but definitely by Friday you would
Yeah,
say.
at least next Sunday by the latest, I got to make the next order.
And not only the shirt orders, we definitely need league fees too to purchase all sorts of stuff that we need. It's only $5, nothing too bad. So as soon as you can, please.
I put up a list on the page of who has and who hasn't.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of who hasn't.
Final thoughts here,
Even
Nova?
in January.
I think this was a pretty solid redraft, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to next year's redraft too, because it'll shake things up even more.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. I mean, like, I feel like we all went into this draft, like,
Not knowing what
blindly.
to
Like,
expect.
we didn't know
Yeah.
what the hell was going to go down, and I'm very happy with the way things turned out, and very happy to step on the field with my new teammates.
Yep. You don't hear that every day, but everybody is actually happy right now where they sit, and let's just
Been a while since-
let's just play some wiffle ball. But with that being said, this is Eric Anderson signing off on Across the League. We'll be back Saturday?
Relatively
Next
soon.
week.
Just stay
Alrighty.
tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Have a good one.